Now, with the election so close to call, every vote matters. One group that is expected to greatly influence the US elections is the Indian American community, one of the most politically active communities in the country. According to some estimates, over 2 million Indian Americans are eligible to vote this election in 2024. Now, while immigration, illegal immigration, like we heard from Trump, and the border with Mexico are key issues in the upcoming presidential election, there are a lot of Indians who are concerned instead about legal immigration. That means a backlog in things like green cards and work visa restrictions. Joining us live is NDTV's New York Bureau Chief, Natasha Israni. Natasha, you've spoken to two New Jersey mayors. What are they saying about Trump versus Harris when it comes to immigration?
Good morning, Alistair. Good to be with you again. Yes, I did speak to two different mayors of New Jersey. One is a Sikh mayor representing Hoboken, and the other, the first Indian woman mayor of the Montgomery township. So for both of them, even as you look at them, you realize diversity is important to them and representation is important to both these leaders. And they both felt that Vice President Kamala Harris is likely to be more empathetic. That's the word that they used when it comes to legal immigration. And they also disliked the schism that we see between legal and illegal immigration in this country, saying that with all the focus on the problem of illegal immigration in the country, focus is taken away from what matters to them, which is legal immigration, where you have Indian H-1B holders sometimes waiting for up to 100 years to get their green cards. So a lot of concerns around legal immigration, and the feeling there from both of these mayors was that Harris was likely to be better.
Okay, Natasha, you've also been talking with many others from the Indian American community. What are the non-politicians telling you?
Yes, I've been hanging out with lawyers, doctors, and physicians at different community events. And it's very interesting to see the array of opinions that come across. For people in the IT sector, H-1B visas are important, but at the same time, being more pro-business, pro-large companies, some of them feel that Donald Trump is going to be better for their interests. When it comes to lawyers who want more representation, as well as see better policies around legal immigration, I got the feeling that many of them were leaning more towards Kamala Harris. Though any of these groups are not uniform, they are bipartisan groups. So it's really a mix. But the one thing, all different groups, whether they're lawyers, doctors, journalists of Indian American origin, they all agree that their vote is going to matter more than ever this time in the swing states where there's been an upsurge in the Indian American population.
Indeed.
So when the it's such a close to count race, every vote is going to matter. And what they are unified on is that they've got to go out and vote. It will matter whether they're voting Democrat or Republican.
Right, Natasha, just let's listen into some of those sound bites that you got for us.
Especially in the swing states, and studies have shown that because of the rising population of Indian Americans in some of these swing states, even though they are a small percentage overall, it could make a difference. Do you see that?
Yes, I definitely see that. And I think this is an opportunity for our community to be part of the decision making. I get a lot of people who say to me, even when I won, how many people came out for you, Neena? And they look at it. Nobody knows who you voted for, but at the same time, there are people who will understand how many of you came out. So I think this is a good time for our community to show our power. I feel we are brilliant. We just need to be engaged a little more, and then we will see policy which affects us or our kids or our next generation. Once we are part of that decision making, we can have that opportunity. So I encourage everybody to vote.
Talking about policy, a lot is said about illegal immigration in this country, but legal immigration is something that a lot of people here help with, and also that a lot of Indians struggle with, including the H-1B visa. So who do you think overall is going to be better for legal immigration between Trump and Harris?
Yeah, between the two candidates, I still believe that Kamala Devi Harris has policy that I understand. I don't want people to talk in abstract. I don't like the idea of people saying immigrants, and even if they say it's illegal immigrants, nobody's going to see when it's a brown person like me. Am I legal? Is someone going to ask me my papers, or going to look at my children who all look like me even though they're US citizens? I think this kind of talk that says, oh, illegal, legal, it makes it harder for us immigrants, because nobody's going to be checking on you. I look brown. If I'm walking on the street, someone can think I'm legal or illegal. So to me, the policy that I'm hearing from the vice president makes sense. There should be no issue of trying to scare the populace to say, oh, you need to vote for this or that. I think we all need to be very mindful of what we are putting out there.
We see Indians being very successful in different fields, but we are yet to see them be in even more leadership positions. And not just be in their community, but otherwise. You're an exception, of course. But in large, we also now finally have our first Asian woman of color and black woman of color who's nominated, from the Democratic Party. But what do you forecast, or where do you see this community going when it comes to leadership?
I see a very exponential increase in the number of South Asians who are in public-facing positions, whether it's elected office or as prosecuting attorneys or as members of police departments. We're slowly integrating into the public sector and public-facing roles, and also leadership roles. So, with that, you'll see us getting more of a seat at the table, so to speak, on issues that we care about, and that's what really matters. Representation matters at all levels, and we've come a long way. There's a long way to go, but I think the future is bright.
What about you? Yeah, when it comes to representation, I'm curious what your thoughts are.
Yeah, I think, especially for for women, South Asian women, women of color, to be in leadership roles. Historically, we've seen that, it's taken us time. Things are getting better, but I do think we have a long way to go. And I think it's so critical that we start that from a very young age. We teach girls and our boys, boys in the home, to kind of let them know that it's important to create that space, but also to be supportive allies. Like the work we do at Manavi, it's engaging men as allies in the community to make sure that men are equally part of the movement to support women, to support feminism, to end gender-based violence, and to create a space where we can see more women of color and more South Asian women embracing leadership roles.